It's earnings season, and there's definitely some juicy bits floating around in the market. In fact, Stellar just had their quarter one review, not an earnings call, but the crypto version of it. We're going to talk about that. But earnings mean big things, big pops for the companies that make it, and big drops for the companies that let us down. And Patrick McHenry of the House Financial Services said he would hold Gary Gensler accountable for his actions on crypto. Well, guess what? They've got a new hearing scheduled. Will Gary be one of the witnesses? I've got the witness list to share with you. That and more coming up next. And seriously, earnings season is legit huge. You get to see operation numbers, financial numbers, growth outlooks, some of the problems that are getting in the way that they're trying to fix. Earnings season is where it's at, and that's why investors are paying close attention to the stock market's earnings season, and we're getting some of these crypto companies doing their quarterly reviews. XLM sitting at 9.2, getting closer to hitting that 8-cent mark. We're going to be keeping an eye on it as low volume is pulling the price of XLM down. Broader look across the market sees some red as the market is waiting for more clarity from Jerome Powell and the Fed. By the way, few economic reports out this week will definitely be moving the market, so we're going to keep our eyes on the data. Earnings season picks up steam. That's right, it's earnings season. On tap for earnings this week will be a mix of companies, including more financial stocks, some banks, and blah, 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 blah. Investors look for the stuff. In fact, if a company has juicy earnings, you could see on their candlesticks, boom, when they pop. If a company is out there like, yeah, we did bad this last quarter, we didn't do good, you'll see right away, boom, the price goes down. And some of these companies give guidance on what to look for in the future. So even if they did good now, but gave bad guidance on the future, saying, hey, we got some problems coming up, some financial stuff, some regulatory stuff, boom, you'll see the sell-off. That's why earnings in these quarterly reviews are so important. But before we get to that, I want to share with you the hearing. That's right, Patrick McHenry, the chairman, said, you know what, Gary, we're going to hold you accountable. Are you, Patrick? Because I've got the witness list here in front of me, and guess what? He ain't on it. Even if he's not there, you prove a point by making the man show up time and time and time again. You hold him accountable to your standard. So far, it seems like the House Financial Services Committee is all bark and no bite. So who's really going to help crypto in the United States? Well, change is needed, and it seems that all three branches are going to have to be controlled by the same, yes, side in order to make anything happen, because right now it's partisan politics. But here is that memorandum. You're welcome to read it. As always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. By the way, that hearing is happening on Thursday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing a live stream on that. Chat is lit as always. I'll be there hanging out with y'all. So join us for that live stream. We'll see if any teeth comes from this hearing. Stellar. Yes, first SDF quarterly webinar of the year, quarterly review, and we're off to a strong start with a new roadmap to guide us to 2023. The problem is, homie, your roadmap was released in April. Whoa, no. You release it right away. In fact, most companies release their roadmaps at the end of 2022 because they've already done the year and they say, hey, this is what we're going to do in 2023. But you remember how I said earlier that earnings are really big and that people really pay attention to earnings? In fact, some of these here, right? Meta was up 76%, Align Technology 58%, Catalan up 46%. Companies report earnings and boom, they just start roaring, right? Well, let's look at a chart for Stellar because remember, they did their review yesterday. So if their price goes up, good review. If their price goes down, bad review. It's actually pretty simple how this works. Oh, must have been a bad review. Why? Because look, there's no action here. It's on the way down. In fact, this is the date right here where they did the review. They started here at 9.6, and by the end of that day, they were at 9.3. So they were a loss. So whatever SDF said in their quarterly review, the market could care less. You try to prove me wrong. Show me that a company did a quarterly review and price is going down. So it's either a bad quarterly review or people don't give a damn what SDF says. That being said, I'm more going to say, hey, the performance wasn't there. Why? Because when performance is there, these companies pop. That's why earnings season is so big. So when I looked at these candlesticks, I was like, you know what? That quarterly review did not excite anyone. Doesn't matter if they pat themselves on the back as much as possible, saying we're doing the best at this and this and this, all this noteworthy crap right here. For the past 2 quarters, Stellar's processed over 1 billion operations, blah, blah, blah. The price don't move. The market doesn't really care. and earnings seasons is a great time to get a pop on good action or a drop on bad action. You know what the screen tells me? Bad action. You know what the screen tells me even more when I zoom out? That we have to have serious concerns of Stellar getting back into the 8-cent mark. When we zoom out and we see the last pop where it could not hold above the 11-cent mark, we have seen some heavy decline since. And when we zoom out, you can see that investor confidence in XLM is so low that it's even lower than FTX times. I've got the FTX candlestick crash right here. That's right. Stellar has not regained since FTX. And in fact, the market sees XLM more risky now than during FTX, when inflation was freakishly high, when the crypto market was melting down, selling off with these nasty candlesticks right here. But guess what, everyone? The market right now is telling us that, you know what? Stellar is more risky. XLM is more risky. There is more downside, and that's evidenced by seeing over these last several days where what? Yep, even with their quarterly review, nothing happened. Look, I bring the news whether it's positive or negative. And right now, the market, the people in the know, this isn't me. I'm showing you the data. The data is showing us that people could care less what SDF says. They could care less about their billion transactions. During the day of their quarterly review, price action went down. Market is not moving on that type of data. The market could care less what SDF said. You're welcome to prove me wrong, but the problem is if you're trying to prove me wrong, you're going to be using hopium and falsities, not the data that I just showed you. And what's the best way to show confidence in a crypto project? It's price action, baby. And if price is still falling as they're saying, yay, we're doing good with our 1 billion transactions, that tells you the market doesn't care. And in fact, most of the market has already moved on. So I'll go back to my saying, if things aren't working and performance is poor, do you keep the same team and the same players? Nah, probably not. Change is needed.